Central New England's trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
Afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Doreen Scanlon. We start today with the weather, because why wouldn't we on a day like today, as we take a live look outside right now with our sky cam. It is absolutely gorgeous. A perfect October afternoon, Chelsea.
When you think about how we started this work week on Monday and Tuesday with all of that rain, we have turned things around so nicely to close out the work week. We have sunshine outside once again today. Temperatures are above average in the low 70s range in the Providence area, with a breeze that's coming in out of the northeast around 10 miles per hour. It really is a picture perfect fall day. Most of us in the low 70s range, a few upper 60s for the Cape, for Newport, for Block Island right now, a little bit cooler this time of year, but all of us very similar to where we were yesterday. I show you this 24-hour temperature change map to just show you that we're still kind of holding steady with those nice temperatures and sunshine. There are a few more clouds in western Mass and western Connecticut this afternoon, and you can see more cloud coverage moving in through New York. We are going to track more clouds moving in as we head through late tonight and especially into the weekend. Unfortunately, our nice sunshine comes to an end. You can see by about 9 or 10 o'clock, those clouds are thickening up. But for the rest of the afternoon, get outside, enjoy it. If you have outdoor evening plans, enjoy it. We have dry weather expected. Again, things are going to change a bit for the weekend. I'll have much more in just a few minutes. Dwayne?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. Now to news new at noon today. State police have identified the 3 people killed in a Route 95 car crash early Tuesday morning. Police say the driver, 23-year-old Brandon Verrocchio, and his 2 passengers, 22-year-old Gianni Guerrieri and 21-year-old Alex Banner, all died in the crash. Verrocchio was driving on 95 South when his car went off the road and hit a tree, causing it to burst into flames. State police say they were going over 100 miles per hour at the time and that weather conditions contributed to the crash. All 3 were former students in the Exeter West Greenwich School District. And former Providence School Administrator Olenke Alege was back in court this morning. Alege's case continued to the end of October now. A potential change of venue to family court was discussed. Alege is accused of giving a child an unwanted foot massage and touching a boy's foot without his consent at a gym in Warwick. He pled not guilty to simple assault and battery back in May. Turnaround Superintendent Harrison Peters was forced to resign amid intense questioning about his hiring of Alege. And ABC6 News at noon covering our schools now. And a vaccine mandate will go into effect next week for teachers and staff in Newport. Teachers will have to be vaccinated by Wednesday or consent to weekly PCR testing. The superintendent says the school committee adopted the policy and it is designed to keep in-person learning safe. We reached out to ask whether there have been any issues getting teachers to accept the policy, and we are waiting to hear back. Now, that same debate in the capital city. The Providence City Council is calling on state officials to impose a vaccine mandate for school staff. The mandate would require teachers to get vaccinated or test weekly to stop the spread of the coronavirus in the classroom. ABC6 News reporter Laura Puglisi spoke to counselors about the reason behind it and health experts about what they recommend.
Right now, more than 90% of teachers in the state are vaccinated, but right now there's currently no requirement to show proof of vaccine or to get tested, and Providence City councilors want to change that. The Providence City Council is calling on Governor Dan McKee and Education Commissioner Angelica Infante Green to make schools safer.
Look, the bottom line is we have to ensure families in Providence and I think throughout Rhode Island that their children are going to be safe at all times in a setting where they spend most of their day.
Councilor David Salvatore represents Ward 14. He's one of 9 councilors who co-sponsored the resolution calling for vaccine mandates or weekly testing for school staff. The mandate would need to be imposed by the governor and RHODE to go into effect, but councilors are hoping to put pressure on state officials.
If folks are hesitant to get vaccinated for whatever reason, we are providing them with an opportunity to demonstrate that they are being tested and making sure that they're healthy and safe as well.
The call for action comes on the heels of neighboring states imposing similar mandates like New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Delaware. Emergency physician and Providence School Board member Dr. Liz Goldberg says Rhode Island should be next.
I'm a practicing emergency physician, and I'm also a parent of 3 kids that are not yet eligible for vaccination. And so having seen patients in the hospital that are critically ill, I really feel that it's important that we take steps to make our schools as safe as possible.
Dr. Goldberg says vaccinations will be imperative this winter as flu season ramps up and are especially important in school settings where most children aren't yet eligible to get the vaccine. As for potential pushback from unvaccinated teachers, Dr. Goldberg says this.
I appreciate my kids' teachers. They're most important folks in our schools to keep learning going. And I think we need to work with all of our school partners to make sure that we have a safe school environment.
And as Pfizer seeks emergency use authorization for children ages 5 to 11, Dr. Goldberg says it is likely that a vaccine mandate could be in the future for children too. Reporting in Providence, I'm Laura Puglisi, ABC6 News.
All right, Laura, thank you. We did reach out to Governor McKee and RHODE for comment. A spokesperson for the governor's office says they are not commenting on the Providence City Council's call for action right now. But earlier this week, Governor McKee did say he's focused on the healthcare vaccine mandate and that vaccination rates for teachers are very high without a mandate in place. Turning now to the Local 9, and it is a must-win game 2 for the Boston Red Sox in St. Pete tonight at 7 o'clock. The Sox lost game 1 5-0 to the Rays. Boston will have its ace left-hander on the mound, Chris Sale. Tampa Bay will counter with Shane Baz, a rookie, making just his 4th Major League start. The series heads back to Fenway for game 3 of this best-of-5 on Sunday. And it was really the Rays who pulled off the most exciting play of the postseason in last night's game. With a runner in scoring position, Randy Arozarena caught the Red Sox off guard, sprinting in for a straight steal of home. Check it out. He became the first player in MLB postseason history to hit a home run and steal home plate in the same game. We turn now to some other headlines today at noon. A Brockton police officer is recovering after being shot last night. It happened on Tabor Avenue around 6 o'clock. According to Brockton police, the officer arrived and found an injured man inside an SUV. Then, a short time later, that officer was shot by someone. The shooter, 32-year-old Kevin Serpa, then barricaded himself inside a home for hours. Police say the standoff ended when the suspect took his own life. That officer is expected to be okay. The man shot inside the SUV, 28-year-old Christopher Gomes of Brockton, died.
Brockton police officers responded. Gunshots were fired. A Brockton police officer was struck, we believe at this time 4 times, including in his Kevlar vest. That officer was taken to a Boston hospital with what is believed to be non-life-threatening wounds at this time.
Police are not identifying that officer. And the Providence City Council voting unanimously last night to bring violation charges against City Clerk Sean Selleck. He is now charged with violating anti-bullying and harassment policies and creating a toxic work environment. The council will now bring these charges to Mayor Elorza, and a month from now will vote to suspend or remove Selleck from his position. The Rhode Island Department of Health is reporting this year's first human case of the West Nile virus in the state. They say the person who tested positive is in their 50s and lives in Providence County. This is the first human case of the West Nile virus in Rhode Island since 2018. Massachusetts has confirmed 7 human cases this year. Residents of a housing complex in Attleboro had to evacuate after a gas leak there yesterday. Attleboro Fire says its initial investigation indicates that a member of the city landscaping crew hit the gas line with his lawnmower. This happened on South Avenue. Eversource was called in to inspect and replace the gas pipe. Residents were allowed back inside after about an hour. And we turn now to our coverage of the coronavirus. And in Massachusetts, hospitals are preparing to fire employees who are not vaccinated. Leaders at hospitals all across the state telling the Boston Globe they don't expect this to impact patient care, but they are ramping up recruitment efforts just in case. At Mass General Brigham, the state's largest hospital system, about 4,000 employees have still not been vaccinated. They have until October 15th. Well, coming up here on ABC6 News at noon, NBA players scamming the system, claiming money for root canals and other procedures they never had. Casey's going to join us with the Celtics connection there. And another poor jobs report for the U.S. economy concerns economists. The full details a little bit later in the newscast. Welcome back. ABC6 News at noon, covering some off-court drama involving some former Boston Celtics. 5 former players now facing federal charges in a case that claims the players defrauded the NBA's health care program. Casey Cantz is in the newsroom with more on this. Casey?
Yeah, Doreen, what a case. The former Celtics player is part of 18 former players tied to this case, in which prosecutors say they fabricated appointments and procedures by chiropractors, dentists, and other doctors, scamming the league's health and welfare benefit plan out of nearly $4 million. So among those charged, Glenn Big Baby Davis and Tony Allen were both part of the Celtics 2008 championship. And then listen to this. Davis and Allen allegedly claimed they had 6 root canals each on the same teeth on the same day in 2016. Now, the indictment also says Terrence Williams, who played 24 games with the C's, orchestrated this whole scheme and actually recruited other former players by offering to supply them with false invoices to support their fraudulent claims. The indictment says Williams also received $230,000 in kickbacks.
The plan accepted the false claims as submitted and paid out many of them. Each defendant fraudulently sought reimbursement ranging from approximately $65,000 to as much as $420,000 per defendant.
Yeah, overnight, 16 of the suspects were arrested and charged. In a statement, the NBA called the allegations particularly disheartening, saying they will fully cooperate with the U.S. Attorney's Office. Live in the newsroom today, Casey Cantz, ABC6 News.
All right, Casey, thanks. Coming up here at noon, a new form of layaway this holiday season. What a new pay later policy coming to Target and other retailers means for you. Plus, Chelsea has a look at your full weekend and 7-day forecast right after this. ABC6 News covering national headlines today at noon. The Bureau of Labor Statistics released the latest jobs report this morning. Employers only added 194,000 jobs in September. It is the second straight month where the economy added fewer jobs than expected. Jobs growth also dramatically slowed down in August. The unemployment rate dropped. It now sits at 4.8%. Well, the latest trend in retail now is buy now, pay later, where you can take your purchase home right away, then settle up in installments afterwards. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has a look at the risks and the benefits.
Just in time for holiday shopping, Target is announcing it's joining the growing number of retailers allowing customers to buy now and pay later. A new kind of installment plan, different than layaway to make purchases.
Buy now, pay later is a type of payment system where retailers offer customers the ability to purchase a product, get it within a day or two, and then pay for it over a certain amount of time. This is different than layaway because you get the product first.
Besides Target, other big-name retailers are jumping in, offering buy now, pay later, including Macy's, Amazon, and Walmart. And experts predict a growing number of companies will soon partner up with third-party service providers like Afterpay, Klarna, and Sezzle to embrace this option. And it's no wonder why. In a recent survey of consumers, 60% said they've used buy now, pay later.
Consumers are really worried about whether or not they're going to be able to get their products in time for Christmas. So when you see a buy now, pay later, you can get your product right now. You don't have to worry about the shopping rush.
Buy now, pay later is especially appealing to younger shoppers and people who don't have credit cards. Experts warn there are some risks.
The payments are interest-free if you pay on time. If you miss a payment or you don't pay, they're going to charge you late fees.
Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, New York.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
Honestly, looking at this view over Block Island, you may think that it's a summertime beach day. It's a beautiful day out there. Sunshine, just a little bit cooler than the temperatures we experience in the summer. It certainly is fall. Temps are in the 60s over Block Island right now. A lot of us in the 70s, though. We're getting a nice taste of some mild conditions and not quite seeing that peak foliage just yet. You'd have to go up into northern New England this weekend to get into some peak colors. But in the coming weeks, we will, of course, see those leaves changing as we head into next weekend and the week after that. You're looking at near peak conditions along most of Rhode Island and into southeastern Mass. Takes another week or so to get into peak and just past peak for northwest Rhode Island. Then eventually by late this month and into the early part of November, we end up past peak. That's when we start to see all of those leaves coming down. If you are heading up to northern New England, I shared this view yesterday. It's just such a picture-perfect view of those bright fall colors over Plymouth State University right now. That's what you're going to see if you're making a trip up to see some leaves. You have to go up into the northern parts of New England to get those bright colors. We're starting to see pops here and there. It is feeling very mild, though. Upper 60s and low 70s outside right now. Average high 67, so we're above that. We've had morning temperatures above that as well. Typically, you get the cooler overnight temperatures, the clear conditions, less daylight, and that's when you really start to see the leaves popping. Sunrise was this morning at 6:50. Sunset at 6:15, getting earlier and earlier. We are looking at mild temperatures at least continuing. We get a little cool down for the weekend. It's still seasonable, though. And then almost all of next week, temperatures are still in the 70s, above average. So we have a nice stretch of mild temperatures ahead of us. Now, the beautiful sunshine we've been seeing these past couple of days, that's going to come to an end for the next few days. We have high pressure that's in control right now. A little bit of a wider view shows you showers off to our west, to our southwest, and down well to the south of us. There is an area of some disturbances happening off the coast of the Carolinas. This is the area that the National Hurricane Center is watching. Now has a 30% chance of development in the next 30 days. Still a low chance, but it's gone up a little bit. We're going to watch this system as it continues to move towards the north. All of the precipitation for the most part stays to the south of us, but we may get clipped by a few showers as we head into the later part of the weekend and into the early part of next week. Today, plenty of sunshine. It's a nice, beautiful day, that gorgeous weather continuing. Overnight, though, clouds increase, and tomorrow morning looks damp. You're seeing a lot of clouds. You're seeing some mist and some light sprinkles outside. It's going to be breezy from the east, and we're looking at high temperatures only in the 60s tomorrow. Again, seasonable, just a little bit cooler than what we've been experiencing. A lot of clouds still around on Sunday. Most of the day on Sunday looks dry. Into the later part of the afternoon and evening, we may get clipped by some scattered showers, especially for areas farther to the south. Low to mid 70s today. We got rid of that morning fog. Now we're seeing sunshine. We do have more fog developing overnight with drizzle, mist, temperatures in the mid 50s. Tomorrow we have some sprinkles at times. It'll be a mostly cloudy, breezy, and cooler day. High temperatures in the mid 60s. 7-day forecast shows temps in the mid to upper 60s on Sunday. And then again, we're back into the 70s for next week. Maybe some early showers on Monday. From there, we get brighter into the middle part of next week. Tori?
Chels, thanks. Hey, PPAC is back. Pretty Woman starts there tomorrow. We'll have a preview right after this break. Well, it is the long-awaited return of Broadway at PPAC. Pretty Woman the Musical opens its national tour at the theater tomorrow night. This is the first Broadway show there in 19 months. The last show was Hello, Dolly on March 8th, 2020. Getting the chance to be back at work on stage, performing in front of a crowd again, is an opportunity not lost on the stars of this production.
To be able to return to it is in a way indescribable. It's like having, you know, like having a limb reattached, you know, like it really is. You know, it's this thing that's so much a part of us that has now been given back to us.
I'm ready. This is my first principal role, and I've been waiting for this moment, and it's an honor to even be in a similar set of shoes as Julia, and to have my own spin on it that's authentic and real and still true to the movie, but true to myself.
There's still tickets available, but remember, PPAC requires a vaccination card or a negative COVID test in order to attend a show. Well, still to come here on the news at noon, Chelsea has another look at that afternoon forecast. We'll be right back. Wow, what a day out there today.
Gosh, I know when I talked about it at the top of the hour,
Mhm.
the fact that we started the week
Yes,
so rainy
remember that?
and miserable. Monday and Tuesday were just horrible days. It's so nice to end the work week like this with sunshine and mild temperatures. You know, the weekend's not great. It's not like we have been seeing, but it's not horrible. There's going to be more clouds around. It's going to be a bit cooler, a little damp at times. And then as we head into next week, we're going to turn things around. Early Monday morning, there may still be a few showers out there, but we'll get brighter as the week goes on, with temperatures staying in the 70s next week.
Wow, you know, talking to the stars of Pretty Woman at PPAC, one of the things they said was they loved the weather. So there you go, Chelsea. They love you.
Great. I love them too.
Yes. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us for the news at noon. The news continues first at 4. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
I didn't see what you wrote.